Jacent, you good? Okay, there you go. I seen you were
Hello.
unable to join. Welcome, welcome.
How's it going?
It's going great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just sending this out to some people. If you haven't already, go ahead and use that little airplane down in the bottom right corner of your screen to send to 3 people that you know need to talk about their money mindset. Not because you're hating on them, but because this is a gem-filled conversation that they don't want to miss. And then comment done after you did it so we know it's real.
Yes, please send that thing out.
I'm sending it out myself to
I'm sending it too. I'm hitting
all kinds
manually.
of people, okay?
Manually.
Okay.
It's all good.
So, where's everybody watching and listening from? I'm super excited today. So, you're going to have to explain
Oh, me too.
because this is going to be great. I'm excited.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this since we decided to collab on this, man. We need more of this in the community. That's for sure. So, yeah, where's everyone from? Go ahead and post it in the chat. Where you connecting from? You know, what are you most excited about tonight? Let us know. We've been Brooklyn, okay. That's what I'm talking about. I'm originally from Rochester, New York, and I don't want to hear nothing. I know they be hating on Rochester, you know. All right, we got some people joining. We'll give people a few more minutes. Houston, Texas, that's where I'm at. Hey, Danny. All right. Yeah, see? A lot of people interested. Let me wave. Thank you to everyone who's joined us so far. See, I knew she was going to say so. That's why she's laughing. I love it.
So before we get started, y'all, let us know, your relationship with money. Drop in the comments, what is your relationship with money like? Would you classify it as an entanglement? Would you classify it as fun, free-flowing, overwhelming, confusing? Just drop it in the comments so that we have a baseline. And how would you like it? Where's it at? And where do you want it to be so that we have a baseline of who we got here? Because we're going to drop some gems on y'all. We want to make sure
we are. Yes, we are.
With actionable items, actionable steps to help you to not only change your habits, but transform your money mindset. Does it happen overnight? Not necessarily, but the process can start and continue today.
You know what? Before we even get into it, I want y'all to know that we have a legend on right now. Jacent, please introduce yourself to those that don't know you.
Hello, I'm Jacent Wamala. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist turned money mindset coach. I have a private practice here in Nevada where I work with mostly women of color on anxiety, depression, and trauma recovery. And then I also have my online community, Wealth and Wellness University. Actually, the Winner's Circle, which is like our elite group, just opened up today for enrollment, where essentially we help people be able to go from A to B, go from overwhelming soul-crushing debt, unable to save, overspending, mismanaging money, to on a clear plan, making progress, paying debts off. I'm about to share some receipts when I get up off of here. We get results over here. So I personally paid off over $90,000 in student loan and credit card debt in 3 years before my 30th birthday. And all my clients mentioned money as a major stressor. So I was like, no one is talking about this, especially not people that maybe look like us. So I wanted to make sure to share my story, not because I think people need to replicate what I've done, but because people need to get clarity on where they're at and where they want to be so they can get on a plan that works. So it's been fun. I paid off all my debt last year. It's actually my birthday month. It's actually my debt-free anniversary month. So that's why I'm turned up the entire time, because we've got.
I love it.
There.
I love it. Well, this is your month. So first of all, happy early born day. And congratulations on that anniversary. That's big. I mean, over 90K. Wow. That's like before your 30th. That's very impressive. So make sure y'all tune in because we do have a lot. What do you think? We should just get right into it?
Yeah, I think we should just drop the gems on them. If you're ready, go ahead and put ready in the comments. If you're ready,
let us know. Put ready.
Okay. Ready means you're not lurking and learning. Ready means you're going to apply these gems that you got a pen and paper, a note, or you're going to come back and listen to this again. If you're driving, drive safely.
Drive safely.
To actually put this stuff in practice, get off of here. So if you're ready for the gems, okay, then you need to drop a ready in the comments if you're trying to win with money this year.
Yes, indeed.
For my audience, I would love for you to introduce yourself for anyone who's coming from my side.
Hey, I'm all for it right now. So I am Javon Wooden. I am a mindset and self-perception coach over at Live Not Loathe. I started my business originally in 2017 while I was deployed in Afghanistan. Some things have transpired over there. There was a suicide bombing that kind of took me off course. I had to recover not just physically, but also mentally and emotionally. So it took me until earlier this year to really get into a place where I could reopen my business and really put the energy I needed to into people. So I'm all about vulnerability being strength, sharing your story, understanding what your purpose is, aligning with your passions, and going forth. I
Woo!
believe that imperfect action is the action you take. There's no such thing as perfect. So why wait for what you can do today and put it off tomorrow? So I'm all about I focus primarily on Black men. About 85% of the world actually has self-esteem issues. So what I do is I empower you to see that you are worth everything and you deserve everything, right? So I want you to get that purposeful, fulfilling life. I do take some clients, some women, if they're ready, right? But I primarily focus on the Black men because I know we got a lot of work to do in our community.
I love yin and yang. We got yin and yang. We've got,
Oh,
women,
yeah,
women focused and men focused. So this is going to be great to have both perspectives.
for
I see
sure.
comments down below. Again, use the airplane to send this to 3 people and type done when you've sent it out, because you are not a good friend if you are not supporting your friends by sharing them. If you're here and you feel like this is valuable or this is going to be valuable, then you need to be a good friend and send it to somebody.
Right. And I haven't seen any duns, so let's get it.
Right. So how would you like to start this conversation off?
So I think we should focus on mindset first. Allow people to see that mindset is an overarching thing, especially when it comes to finances, because a lot of our community has never been taught exactly what to do, and we tend to have a scarcity mindset when it comes to money. So earlier on you asked, what's people's relationship with money? And if a lot of us are being honest with ourselves, that relationship might not necessarily be the best. You hear the term about burning a hole in your pocket, or maybe you're thinking like, dang, I can't go broke again. I've been there, I don't want to go. But you have this mindset that it's not belonging to you, that it's not yours. And you start to have that it's a barrier. So I really want to get down and deep into ways people can come into that abundance mindset from that scarcity mindset and what that really even means.
Woo, I love it. Now I got to go ahead and shout somebody out. Thank you, Just Jane. I'm not going to say the Washington, but thank you, Just Jane, because you're a real,
Yes.
you're a real one to your friends to be able to think of them and make sure that they are here in this room. And mindset is everything. Mindset's going to be the why that makes or breaks your ability. Literally, my glasses are stuck. That makes or breaks your ability to make progress. So people think that you have to change your habits. Oh, I have overspending habits. Oh, I'm not really good with money. And it's that you have something deeper going on. It's not just your habits, it's your mindset. It's what you're conditioned to believe about money. Burning a hole in your pocket. What does that mean? That's connected to something other than habits. So that's the biggest misconception, right? We're talking about myths around money, is that we think that we need to change our habits when what we need to do is transform our mindset. And
for sure,
it's going to alleviate the symptoms of a lack and limitation scarcity mindset. So when you go to the doctor, you say, hey, I have a cold, I have a headache, my back is sore, I have a stomach ache. You tell them your symptoms, but you want them to cure whatever the virus is. So for someone to say, oh, I have poor spending habits, I'm making it rain at Amazon, every other day I'm at Target, okay, that's your symptoms. We need to talk about your mindset so that you can still go to Target, you can still go to Amazon, but that it's within your control and that it's helping you to hit your goals. So I love that you said, let's talk about mindset.
Yes, let's do it. And I love exactly what you're saying. Like, you can do these things, but it's really about aligning, right? Like, if you're spending all this money, should you be spending that money, right? You have to prioritize things. You can have anything, but you can't have everything. So you need to really prioritize and really write down, what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish. And you're an expert at budgeting and getting that alignment in place, right? So you do have some things that you can share. So stay tuned, because she will be sharing some of those. But also understanding that, you don't need to just primarily work for right now, because you need to plan for the future, right? The future is still in front of us, and we have the pen in our hands to write our story, right? But in order to do that, you need to really ensure that you're being intentional about the work you're putting in for your mind. You know, some of the things that we need to do in our community is inform ourselves about money, right? There's information, especially now. There's no reason for us not to be knowledgeable about some aspects or some things we can do to control our bank accounts, right? You have information everywhere. You have YouTube, you have IG, you have podcasts, you have a ton of professionals, including yourself, you know, that we can go to. If we don't know, we can find that information. We can seek that, and it will expedite your process. You don't have to go through that turmoil and that pain of being broke or being under debt for the rest of your life. Get some help.
You know what? That's one of the other myths, and I just talked about this earlier today, was this myth that you have to do it all by yourself, that you're to be able to put the pieces together, get yourself from the situation you're in into a completely different situation, when it was you who had the trouble and got into the situation in the first place. So how could it be that you, in isolation, are going to get yourself out of a hole you dug yourself? Like,
right.
I don't think that there's anyone who got out of quicksand by themselves. So
you got to reach that hand out.
You need some support.
Reach it out.
Many different ways. You can get a coach, you can get a counselor, you can read a book, a podcast. You know what I mean? Like Javon mentioned. And so I think one of the biggest misconceptions is like, oh, well, I need to do it by myself, or I got this. And it's like, I mean, yeah, but you could also get the fast pass. It's like being at Disneyland. So buy the book, follow the steps. That's a fast pass. Listen to the podcast, implement the strategies. That's a fast pass. Get a coach. Anyone who's doing work reputably is going to be able to accelerate your process
for sure
of progressing.
For sure. And you know, when you're in it, you can't see everything because you have the blind spots. You don't have that third person perspective. You're in it and you're so deep into it that you can't see the forest from the trees. So having that person with you that can say, hey, have you thought about this? Or maybe you should try this. You know, that is going to, like you said, expedite the process tremendously. And not only that, it's almost like, you know, when we need to, you know, to tie into that, vulnerability is what we're lacking a lot of times. We don't want someone else to see how badly or how poorly we're doing, right? But that's not what you need to be focused on. You need to be focused on being the best you in every aspect. And if that means going to someone and saying, hey, look, you know, I'm 100K in debt. You know, I got some credit card debt. I got some student loan debt. I need help. Can you? You know, and that's going to open you up tremendously. And now, once you're out of debt, now you can share that with your family. Now you can share that with your friends. And it's a snowball effect. And that's what we really need more of. We need that knowledge sharing and being willing to open yourself up to some serendipity, right? Being willing to say, hey, I haven't tried this before, but I think I should. I've never tried it before, so that may be exactly what I need to do. Because the definition of insanity is what? Doing the same thing and expecting different results.
Yeah, I want to ask, for everyone who's listening right now, is this making sense? Give us a yes in the comments. Do you feel like, okay, there we go. Shout out to Houston. So
Shout out. Good luck.
If this is helpful, right? Like, is this a conversation that you had in your household? Yes or no? Are these conversations that you have with your friends? Yes or no? Because that's what I think we're talking about. You got to do something different. We're gonna have to talk about things that we haven't talked about before. And sometimes you might need to talk about those things with a stranger, or you might need to talk about this with the people that you know. But you might need to exercise your muscles, right? Like your mindset is. And if you treat it like one, then you recognize that it may not be the strongest when you start, but the more that you practice, the more that you pick up the weights, the more that you stretch, the more that you go for the runs, right? Mentally, the more that you'll grow that muscle. So because really, we come from abundance. Like, we're born into the world abundantly. So, you know, if we can return back, it's not that you need to go and attain something that you've never had. Kids operate in abundance. They believe that the world is their oyster. They believe in possible for them. They believe that they can have and be and do whatever they want. It's that it's been beaten out of you in school by your parents, your cousin,
Right.
whoever,
Right.
or wherever.
I love that.
That beat that thing out of you, that you have to put that thing down and return back to your true nature, which is of abundance. So it's a muscle, and you have to think like, when I was younger and I used to think I could conquer the world, like what was I thinking about? How was it that I wasn't worried about what people thought of me? You know, if I'm on a debt-free journey, or if I'm saying I'm saving a certain amount of money, well, hey guys, I'm not gonna be able to go out with you, except you say that. You say, oh no, I'll go to brunch, knowing full and well you're gonna overdraft your account. Like, you have to be able to go back to the way you used to be when you used to operate in abundance at some point in your life.
Yeah. Well, in order to do that, you have to stop comparing as well. Comparison is the enemy. You know, when you want to live the life that you've seen on social media, you don't know those people. You don't know what they've done. It could be all set up. You know, it could be just fake, just like we see on TV, right? People script these lives. They script these things, and they go into debt trying to make their business their brand, right? Their brand, and then they go into debt. You don't know what's happening. So you have to be proud of your journey and walk your own path. But on that path, there's a guide. Every hero needs a guide, right? We can't do this alone. If you don't know something, how do you know you don't know? If you never heard about it, or no one's ever introduced you, right? So you have to understand that you can't do these recoveries and these uplifts in a vacuum. You have to open yourself up to the idea of checking your circle and seeing what's missing, right? Seeing who has that knowledge in your circle, being willing to go to them to say, hey, you know, what do you do when you want to save up for your vacation? Do you have a separate account? You know, do you just pull it out your regular checking? Do you have a savings? What do you do, right? Asking that. If it's missing there, go out. Go out. Talk to people. Connect with people you won't normally talk to in your social circles. You know, you have to open yourself up to these ideas.
You know, I love that you mentioned, right, you have to identify. So you have to have the awareness first to be able to identify. And if you don't even know what you're missing, you need to be seeking out those who, to some level, appear like they are working toward, right? Nobody's perfect. It's not about comparison.
Right.
But that they embody a way of being, that they are able to experience the things that you want to experience. And then you need to vet them. So literally, right? Because again, with this internet space, anyone can say that they're doing whatever they do.
Right.
So that's a whole thing. But if you both identify somebody that you feel like, you know, you might be a good person to learn from, vet them, take time to get to know how they present themselves, what they say they do. Are they consistent? Are they inconsistent? Ask around. Whenever I kind of look for coaches and support or counselors or whatever, I always look at, if I'm able, what previous clients have said. And not just what previous clients have said. I've literally reached out to the people that they've said that they've worked with to say, hey, you know, how was it working with this person? And then be able to see if it was a good fit for me. Because just because they could help that person doesn't even mean that they can help me. So,
right. Oh, for sure.
That's also something else too. Just because they get people results doesn't mean that they're a good fit for me. So it's a really good idea to start widening your circle to some extent, reevaluating your circle. You might need to have boundaries in some of your relationships with people who maybe are stuck in a scarcity mindset, because you might be saying, oh, I want to go here, I want to do this, I want to serve that. And every time you share that with certain people, they're like, pew, 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 pew.
Yep.
Like shooting down what you want to do, but it's you that continues to go to those people that can't support you and hold weight for what it is that you want to do. So you at some point have to say, okay, I see, like this is not a person that can hold space for what I want to do. Doesn't mean I hate you, doesn't mean I cut you off, doesn't mean we're not friends anymore. It just means I may not necessarily be coming to you for this specific thing. I need to figure out who I can go to for that so that I'm able to make progress and incubate my dreams. But you incubate in your dreams with people who got a poisonous mentality sometimes.
Exactly. And that's it reminds me, I just posted, like, never apologize for your growth. Right? When you're growing, and if those people aren't aligning with you on that growth, they're not trying to grow, then sometimes they're not meant to go with you on that journey. You have to be real about that. And yeah, Siobhan, you said we buy things we don't need with money. We don't have to impress people we don't like. Right. There's no need to impress anyone. You should be doing things because it aligns with your values, right? It aligns with you serving your family, taking care of your family, whatever that is. It's great to have nice things, but you also have to focus on what you have right now. Because when you do that, that allows you to get into that abundance mindset we mentioned. Abundance is really about being grateful for the present, right? Being grateful for the present. Not looking behind you and saying, "Yeah, I wish this changed." No, because that got you to where you are now. And now you are able to take that experience that you've gone through, the adversity you faced. You've proven to yourself already that you can, right? You're able to, because wherever you started from, you are where you are now. And it may not always seem like things are going easy, because the things that you want most are the hardest to obtain and they're the hardest to keep. So you have to continue to drive forward using your intuition that you've gained along this journey, but embrace the grace. What I mean by that is you have to ensure that you're grateful, maintain your humility, maintain your graciousness to whatever your high power is. Always be thankful, because it could always be worse. You have to have that mentality that I am grateful because, one, I wake up every day, I'm breathing, I have another opportunity. Every time I have breath in my lungs, there's another opportunity, right? You don't have to give up. Never give up on yourself. You should believe that whatever debt or whatever adversity you're facing, you can get up out of that. And if you have no idea how to do it, find someone who helps you, but always focus on the gratitude and not the adversity.
Yes, drop gratitude in the comments, y'all. Drop gratitude. I'm grateful. And
Yes.
you hit the nail on the head. That is truly abundance, because scarcity is always saying, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough energy. I don't have the resources. I can't, start a YouTube channel because I don't have the space. I literally am in my garage. Like, to be grateful for the space that I do have and to utilize the resources that are at my fingertips to the greatest length is what helps me to cultivate more abundance in my life, to have ease in my life. And so I really feel like you hit the nail on the head, because when you operate in lack and limitation, you're saying, God, you haven't provided me with everything I already need. If that's whatever it is you believe in, right? So you're essentially kind of like disrespecting or spitting in the face of whoever created you, right? Whatever you think that is. Just like a parent provides, a good parent provides everything, everything that their child needs. Now, what you don't like having ungrateful children, I'm sure of it, okay? You don't like having ungrateful nieces or nephews. You don't like having ungrateful coworkers. You don't like having ungrateful partners and spouses. You don't like having ungrateful friends. You don't want to go on a trip with people who are complaining the whole time. It's you. You are the one complaining in your life about the situation not changing or evolving, when you might need to shift your focus. I'm not saying that life isn't difficult. I'm not saying that you're not going to have to deal with some serious circumstances.
Right.
But that in the face of that adversity or whatever comes up, how do you respond? How do you react?
Right.
When you squeeze an orange, what comes out? Orange juice. When you squeeze a pineapple, what comes out? Pineapple juice. Can you eat a pineapple and get orange juice? No. So if what comes out of you when you get squeezed is anger, is resentment, is guilt, is frustration, that's what you're filled up.
You. Yeah, you harbor that.
It was already, no one else gave you road rage. You already had the rage in you, and the situation just called out of you what was already within. So you have to be honest with yourself to say, okay, am I responding and reacting in a way that's true to who and how I want to be? Don't focus on what can I have, cars and homes and trips. Focus on who you want to be. At your best in any given moment, how can I be my best version? If my kid pisses me off, how can I handle the situation in my best version self? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's annoying. How can I handle myself in my best version of myself? So instead of thinking, okay, what can I get? What can I do? You need to be thinking, who am I and who do I become? Who am I when I am my best version of myself? And that's where the magic happens.
I love it. I love it. Make sure y'all need to drop a heart because she's dropping some jewels right now, or drop a gem to represent the jewels she dropped. Whatever it is, show love. Come on now. She's killing it. But you said some things that really, really resonated with me, and I'm sure they resonated with the audience. And, finding out who you are is very important. That's actually the first thing I do with my clients is like self-assessments. And then I also do like, what are they holding on to? What are they tolerating in their life that they need to let go of? These are things that, we don't readily think about when we're by ourselves. We don't readily say, hey, I need to ask, like, what's your perception of me? Or even thinking about internally, intrinsically, like, what do I think of myself? Because all those things are manifested, right? You're manifesting what you're receiving, right? If you're inside yourself, you're not confident with what's going on, or you always have this belief that success is finite, then that's what you're going to receive back. You're never going to unlock your true potential because you're the one that's holding yourself back, right? You have to really be mindful of that. You have to really be mindful about positively talking to yourself, but also talking to yourself in a real voice, right? It's great to have affirmations, but you have to believe them. You have to believe them. When you say, I am loved, I am worthy, I am powerful, I am whatever, when you say that, you need to truly believe that, or else you're just selling yourself a pipe dream. So you have to do that work. Like we said, mindset first. You have to do that work first before you start talking about what you want, right? Because what you are is what you're going to receive. So we have to do that. And another thing you also want to do when it comes to mindset is finding your why. Why are you doing this? Why are you, what hypes you up every morning when you get up? Why are you doing this? Why are you excited about life? Why do you want that new car? Why do you want any of this, right? What does this mean for you? What is it a representation of? Are you just doing it because it's someone else's life that you're living? Or is it truly because you want to have that life for yourself? We have to really think about this. That comparison thing earlier, comparison is the enemy, and comparison will hurt you tremendously, because as long as you aren't intrinsically happy, happiness comes from the inside. As long as you don't have that, the joys of life will never fully impact you the way they should. So focus on the intrinsic work before you talk about all that good stuff.
You said focus, and I think that is, like, in and of itself a whole gem, because especially in this day and age when people get so distracted by what they're seeing in media, what notifications are popping up on their phone, what so-and-so is doing, what new thing happened. Like, focus. You need to quiet the noise and clear out all of the other things that don't align with where you want to go. And that's what people who create serious results in their lives do. Not serious results in the sense of just money in the bank account or whatever, having multiple, whatever. That stuff is well and good. But focus in the sense of building relationships that are healthy and sound. Focus in the sense that they have a good relationship with themselves, because most people, like you said, 85% of people don't even like themselves.
Don't even like themselves.
Don't even speak to themselves nicely, right? Are practicing self-harm, mental self-harm on themselves on a daily basis by saying things like, I'm unworthy, I'm undeserving, I suck. Why would I do that? I'm so weird. I'm so awkward. And literally harming themselves. I was at a boot camp this weekend, and someone said to me, how is it that you are so bold to tell people blatantly about themselves? And so when someone is speaking in my presence and they say something that doesn't align, I will correct them in that moment. And that's because I said to her, if you were witnessing something that you saw as life or death for me, would you intervene, or would you just let me, engage in whatever that risky thing was? And
Right.
I would intervene. It's the same thing when I hear someone speaking doubt on their life, when I hear someone speaking lack and limitation, when I do it to myself, because I'm not perfect. Thankfully, this is why
No.
I
No.
I get I'm well, I'm not even going to embody it. I have a tendency to like to be by myself. I have a tendency to be introverted at times, right? And so I get nervous speaking to people. I get nervous.
Mm.
And people are like, oh, you look so calm and collected or confident or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, that's all well and good. But 5 minutes ago, like, this is why you only see this part of me. I'm sweating and all kinds of stuff. And it's also hot in Vegas. So it's that you have to recognize that it's life and death, the things that you're speaking on your life.
Mm.
You hate something. You hate going to a 9 to 5 that's not serving you. It's a hostile work environment. It sucks. The people there are not kind. You have other dreams that you want to follow, or you love your job and you want more responsibility, but you're too scared to ask for a promotion or to take more things.
Right.
So you're living a death every single day by yourself before the world disqualifies you, because you want to sabotage so that you are playing it safe, when every day you wake up and that's why you're drained, and that's why you're weekend, and that's why you're just trying to go to brunch and whatever. That
right.
on a daily basis are dying a little bit. And so it's really important that we recognize that the words that we're speaking, because that's how we understand life, is through language, that if it's in your brain and if it has the audacity to come out of your mouth, you've already invested in your mind infinitely more before it came out of your mouth. So when someone out loud, oh, I'm not going to be able to do it, or I'm the worst, or whatever, I'm like, how many hundreds of thousands of times have they already said that in their mind before their mouth? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you said so much there. I see the audience is really enjoying it. And it's kind of like, when you talked about the deaths, like you're dying every day, right? Because you're doing things you don't enjoy. But some people get so comfortable with what's familiar, even though it's not good for them. Right? You get so comfortable with understanding that, oh, it's going to be another day like this. Well, at what point do you take accountability? At what point do you say, like, you just stop complaining? You take accountability to say, today is the day I'm changing this. I'm going to change the way I talk to myself. I'm going to change and update my resume. I'm going to create my own business to say, I'm tired of this. How about I go do something different? How about I at least try? Right? Because what do they ask people that's on their deathbed at the end? They always ask, what are your regrets? And it's always about not trying. So why would you want to look in the future self and say, you want to apologize right now because you didn't try? No. The worst thing you could do is not try. Failure is a part of success. In fact, I like to say that success is actually insulated by failure. Because in order to achieve it, you have to go through that hard path. Anytime you see someone draw the path to success, it's never linear. It's always scribbled. It's all this, it's all that, because that's how it is. That's how it is. All those overnight successes, there's no such thing. There's no such thing. Some people might get lucky with 15 minutes of fame, but what did that bring for them? What did that bring for them? Because when you aren't ready for it to come, you destroy yourself, right? Because you were never ready. Ooh. Right now, the pressures of that are weighing on you. So we have to understand that. Enjoy. That's why they say trust the process, because success is a gradual thing. But in order to truly identify that something was successful, you have to be full yourself. Or else you're not going to even know that you've reached the pinnacle. Because you're always going to be wanting more for yourself. Expectations are dangerous. Expectations are dangerous. Because now you expect things that you aren't even ready for, that you did not prepare for quite yet. Right? So you need to make sure you're going on that path and you're embracing the journey that is yours. Because what you want, it can come. But you have to continue to do the work on you.
Ooh, man. I mean, the thing coming is one thing. Maintaining or going to the next level is another thing. And
you definitely won't maintain it if you ain't ready. For sure.
Some things that are just fire. So y'all need to drop some fire little emojis in the comments down below. I don't know if you're taking notes. If you're not, I don't know what you're doing with your life.
Right.
I know that I don't be playing games with you. It is May. We're not playing reindeer games. Christmas is not for another 6 months. Already happened.
I love it.
We need to be taking notes because this is not for us to just hear ourselves talk. I literally could be doing other things. He literally other things. You need to be engaging in this conversation. You need to be taking notes. You need to be reflecting on what we're saying and what's coming up for you, because it's not an accident that you're here right now on this live. When I tell you that there's a transformation occurring within you, whether you know it or not, I'm not joking. Like, this is not not for fun. Like this, there's so many other things that all of us could be doing, but there's a reason why we've all been brought here in this room at this moment to have this conversation. If this conversation is for you, then I need you to say me in the comments. If you're like, how do they know? Wow, this is right on time. Then drop a me in the comments down below, because he said, today is the day.
Today is the day.
You are walking around acting as if you have nothing but time. Who said? Who told you that you got nothing but time? And you're dragging your feet. This doesn't mean to call out and quit your job. Now, don't leave this live and say, oh, just said I quit my... No, I didn't say that. Okay?
Use that job to fund your dreams.
We're saying you need to become strategic. We're saying that you need to put a fire under your feet to say, okay, what do I need to do? What can I do today? It's about gratitude in the present moment. And over and over and over again is what's going to help you get somewhere. So if you are like, I don't talk to myself nicely, then I need you to write down, what does talking to myself nicely look like? How would that sound? How do you talk to your best friend if you're nice to them? How do you talk to your kids if you're nice to them? Right? So you need to go ahead and put today is the day, because it's not an accident. It's not an accident that we're on this conversation right now. It's not an accident that we're talking about these exact things in this moment. And it would be a waste for us to not have gratitude for this. Take it seriously if there's something that's tugging. And so I love that you mentioned that, because that's literally how I live. I literally think in this day, how can I serve at a high level and be my best version of myself? I'm not perfect. I actually am on the opposite side. They say you teach what you most need to learn. So everything that I can you is because I've been through it. It's because I deal with it. It's because I will have to have these pep talks with myself. It's because I'm telling myself lies on a regular basis. And I'm like, but I talk to them. I say, who told you that? Oh, just say, able to create the largest community of financially independent women and help them check. Who said that? Talk to the voice
I'm talking about
that is telling you can't do something. Talk to the critic that's telling you that you're not good enough or that you're not worthy. I spend more time talking to myself than listening to anything else. Listening to the radio, watching TV, listening to albums.
Dog is agreeing.
That I need to talk to myself more than I'm listening to anyone else or anything else. I still listen to other things intently. But you aren't talking to yourself, and you're not talking to yourself on purpose to be able to change that narrative that's going on in your mind. So I don't know who needed to hear that. You can let me know in the comments whoever
everybody
was. But we told you it was coming to bring the gems. I ain't coming on this live for no reason, because I could be taking a nap. I could be take the dog for a walk. I could be chilling, right? But it's a passion inside of me to be able to share this information, not because I like to hear. I actually don't. I really get really nervous. Like when you talk about your why will overpower whatever that thing is, right? You're typically given a cocktail of things. So I'm quote unquote an introvert, given a cocktail of you need to speak to people. You've been given a purpose and a passion to share information, to educate, to inspire, to motivate. It's like, why would you make me an introvert if I'm supposed to be out here talking to people? Because that's like going to the gym. You don't start bench pressing with 100 pounds if you've never done 10 pounds.
Right.
Bro,
you got to build up.
you have to, like you said, right? You have to build it up. And so that's where, you're never going to pop up on the scene perfect, but you're waiting, you're expecting for yourself to pop out with a business, to pop out with a perfect, a perfect journey, to pop out with a perfect relationship. No, that's not how it goes.
There's no such thing as perfect. And all those things you named, what do you have to do? You have to work at it daily. Even if you did get lucky and somehow your business, you sell a product, and next thing you know, you have 1,000 orders. Okay, can you handle that? One. Two, like you said, are you ready for it? Right? If it did come, are you ready for it? Do you have the infrastructure internally to handle it? Right? Mm-hmm. Are you ready to put in the work it takes to maintain these things? And Amber, I'm glad that we are confirming what you were talking to with your best friend, because this, as she said, these are things we were brought together not by just happenstance. This is meant to be right now, right? When Jacent and I connected, we were just DMing like, yo, what's going on? She's like, what do you think? And I'm like, yo, you do great things, right? You are amazing. I've watched your content, so I was trying to connect and come up with ways we can do this, and we decided on this, right? This is not something, this is intentional, right? We would not be here, none of us, if it wasn't meant, right? But to get here, like Jacent said, we've gone through a ton of things ourselves, which is why we can sit here in front of you and talk about it so confidently and so intentionally, because we've gone through it, right? I say that with my clients. Like, I'm a mindset and perception coach. I'm not going to teach or consult on my clients and say, you need to do this if I had never done it, right? If I've never gone through it, right? If I've never experienced depression or PTSD myself, how can I tell them like, hey, have you tried this? I can't, right? Because I understand the pain it causes. I don't want you to go through that pain. And I've tried all these different things. And Jacent's done the same thing. She doesn't want you to go through that pain, which is why we wanted to do this live and put it out there. So I want to know if anyone has some questions that are really burning for us to answer. They really want us to answer. Drop those in the comments.
Yes.
Because we're here for y'all. We are here for y'all because we want to provide value. So if you have, say again, Jacent.
No, it's so important. It's so important to take advantage of opportunities to have conversations with people that you don't necessarily surround yourself with, not because the people that you're around are bad or anything, but you just never know what's going to click for you at the right time and open up a world of difference in what you're able to accomplish and what you're able to do and who you're able to be. So while you have us here in front of you, like, this is the ideal time to ask whatever question you have on your mind, because now's the time that we can be able to answer that for you and be able to workshop, whatever that thing is that's coming up. It's also really important to recognize that there has to be I don't know if a balancing of the scales, but just harmony, right? So my community is called Wealth and Wellness University because it's one thing to make money, but there are people who have money that are still depressed. There are people who have money that are still committing suicide. There's still people that have money and they're a part of the 85% that have low self-esteem. So it's that you have to have a harmony. There has to be a balancing of the scales and, okay, yes, you're goal oriented. You want to have this job. You want to have this house. You want to drive this car, all that fun stuff, which is great. But what about your wellness? Like, what about health? What about your spirituality? What about your relationships? So it's not just one-sided. It's that we have to talk about both sides so that we can it's sustainable. Because even if you make a change in the short term, everything could drop and fall apart in a year if you don't have a foundation that's sound. So it's really important to recognize that there are two sides to that. And that's our mindset more than we're talking about money. A budget, literally, you have to understand what it is you make in a month. What is it that your life costs you? Most people can't say right now, how much does your life cost on average every month or in a year? That's why you have a hole in your pocket, is because you don't even know how much your life costs. So it's the tactical things are easy when we talk about the mindset and create the foundation. The tactical we can be able to break down and say, okay, do a spending analysis. Download the free Budget Like a Boss ebook. It's the second link in my bio. Look back at the last 30 days of your spending. Where has your money been going? Look back at the last 3 to 6 months. Where has your money been going? Are there trends behaviorally and monetarily? So there might be as far as, dang, around my period, it seems like I end up spending more. Or, wow, I had a breakup. That makes sense why I spent this much at Amazon. I had to go, I don't know, you know what I mean? I just got back from, you said you're ex-military, right? Or you're retired.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just had, what is it called when you're in the reserves and you have to go once a month, right? Like,
oh yeah, drill.
I just got back from drill. So because I just got back from drill, I'm spending a whole, so you have to look to see, are there patterns? You're not doing an analysis of your situation to be able to connect the dots and say, why does my graph of spending look like this? What's going on? Or does it look like this? Or does it look like this? I don't know. You got to see that analysis to be able to tell. And then just like when you go to Disneyland, just like when you're at the airport and there's a map and it says you are here, that's what's going to help tell you, okay, this is where I'm at. Where do I want to go? Oh, I want financial independence. When you put a destination in your phone, it gives you multiple routes to get to that place. So you're going to have multiple options to get to your financial independence. Start working with somebody to help you come up with that plan, because you're like, I like the route that they used. Oh, I like the route that so-and-so used. Or I'm going to disqualify that route because it doesn't make sense for me. So the stuff that is like the how to increase your income is your mindset. How do you triple your income? It's your mindset. How do you start a successful business? It's your mindset. How do you have loving, happy relationships? That's your mindset.
Mindset, right.
All of your attention on the top part of the triangle, and you're missing the whole bottom part of the triangle.
Right. If your foundation is flawed, you have nothing. You're just going to crumble. So I think this is apropos to a time where we can answer this question. What are some of our coping strategies when facing adversity? You want to go first, Jacent, or you want me to take it?
Yeah, I know that we're talking about myths, and again, I have to say it over and over and over again because it's not a joke. Like, you need to get support. Stop trying to do something. Stop.
For sure.
Stop. Okay, you need to.
For sure.
By yourself. Get support. Slide in Javon's DMs if you happen to be a man dealing with some of the things that he talked about. Find someone nearby that can support you and you can ask questions of. That to me will be your best bet. Now, coping skills in the meantime, coping skills are, you always need to find out where you are on the map as much as you possibly can, right? So ask yourself, is how I'm feeling now how much different than when I feel my best? Oh, it's not that different. Okay, maybe you need to make sure you ask the weekend off. How are your boundaries? Are you always saying yes to people when you don't want to do things? Are you saying no when you should say yes to hanging out with, your friends that fill you up? So you want to do an assessment. Everything starts with an assessment. I'm sure you do assessment. For sure. First half. Yeah. So you have to do some level of an assessment. However, if you're trying to do an assessment with yourself, who either got yourself or is the person dealing with the thing, you are going to have a skewed, probably, view of your situation.
Right.
Because it's you in that situation. So you could do a self-assessment. There are plenty online. There are plenty of ways to go through a journal or find a quiz online or whatever the case may be. But to cut out all the guesswork, find someone to help you. Stop playing these reindeer games. You're over here making it rain at wherever stores. Like, how much money, how much time, how much energy are you investing in your wellness? So if you are struggling, that means that you need support. If you had a fever, would you just sit at home and be like, oh, I have a fever. That's weird. Well, it'll probably go away. Let me just, whatever. Yeah. If it continued to escalate, would you just be like, you know what? I'm throwing up, but I'm just going to take a nap. It's fine. I'm coughing bad, so maybe I should drink some water. I'll just drink some water, go to sleep, see how I feel tomorrow. If you're struggling with adversity and mental health concerns or just difficult life circumstances, you're stressed, you're in a season of transition or whatever, those are the signs that it's time to enlist some support. So that's what I would say. Number one thing, because that's the number one thing that I see gets in people's way. When people come to me, I'm like, how long has it been that you've been thinking about seeing someone or getting some help or whatever? They're like, oh yeah, it's been like a year, 2 years, a couple of years. What? Like, yeah. Why are you forcing me? Why did you force me? I get it because I've done it myself. But if I can accelerate that process for you by telling you this right now, for you to take it seriously and do something with it, you don't have to keep struggling by yourself.
Right. Yeah, agreed. And I would also say, like, if you're facing adversity, one, what is the adversity? Like, is it self-proposed or is it an external adversity, right? So there's different things you can do. If it's intrinsic, if it's within you, that help is definitely number one thing you can do, right? Getting help, receiving that help. Outside of number two, I would say that you want to really break it down, right? And when you see the big picture, a lot of times when people look at the whole thing, they get intimidated. But break it down, right? If you can break that down into sections, into goals, like, and then just piecemeal it, that will help it become easier for you to take on, right? And then also, when you say adversity, you have to say, all right, is there a time that I've gone through adversity before that I can lean on, that's shown me that I can do this, right? Lean on that. That's one of the few times I'm gonna tell you to go into the past, because lean on what you've gone through to say, hey, I'm strong enough to take this on, right? This will not break me. This will not stop me, right? That's another thing you can do. And then also, when you want to overcome adversity, have a support system. Have a support system, someone you can really talk to, speak with candidly, and let them know. Like, if you just want a listening ear, tell them, like, hey, I just want to vent right now. I don't really need no input, just do that. But let them know, right? So you can get that off your chest. And sometimes just talking through things, you find solutions, right? And that's, again, where that self-talk comes in too, because when you're talking to yourself positively and you have that self-talk, like, all right, what am I going to do? Plan that out, right? The journal is very key in that. Planning it out to say, all right, my day went like this. I know I have this tomorrow. See if you can identify your top 3 goals in a day. No more until you get used to doing those 3. Top 3 goals. These are your must-dos, right? To what I will call revenue-generating activities, right? I don't know if y'all ever heard of the rocks, pebbles, and sands, but the 3 are your rocks. These are the revenue-generating activities. These are the things that's going to move you forward, that you have to do to get to wherever part of life you want to go in, right? And then you have your pebbles. The pebbles are things you must do to support the revenue-generating activities or your rocks, but they don't need to be done right this instant, right? A lot of times we look down here because the rocks are harder to move, right? But those pebbles, sometimes those can be either delegated, or you can say, I can put these off until after my 3. And then you have sand. Sand is stuff that you just don't really need to be worried about right now, right? It feels good to check them off your goal list, like we live in these check boxes, but they don't necessarily add value, right? They're busy work, really. Those are things if you're facing adversity, you don't need to be concerned with those right now. Get those rocks and break those rocks out. Make those your little task list that you've been doing, right? Prioritizing your day. This is why I created the Own Your Time checklist. That's it's a link in my bio. But the Own Your Time checklist, what I did was I created 17 steps to say, all right, this is going to help you reduce your stress. It's going to get you to take back the one finite resource that we really have, which is time. You can create time in your day, but you have to prioritize, you have to plan properly, and you really have to strategize, right? And those are all things that I show you how to do. But I hope that helps, Siobhan.
Yes. Has this conversation been fruitful? Let us know in the comments. Drop your takeaways before we hop off of here. We want to know that you've been listening. You didn't know you was going to have a quiz. Hello, pop quiz. Here it is.
Pop quiz.
Actually, not even a pop quiz. It's just, what did you take from this conversation?
Yeah, we want to make sure it was valuable. Yep. That's it.
And next level, right? For the next level, folks, what is the action, right? Because we can't just talk about things and then go on about our lives. What is a quick, small action that we can couple with this information that you've learned that you can execute on right now, today, when we get off of this call? I'm going to write down my goals. I'm going to reverse engineer my goals. I'm going to, figure out my self-assessment. Where am I at on the map? What is that thing for you going to be that you're going to do today? Because that's how you get the ball rolling. It's not that you talk about something. It's always like, oh, I'll start on Monday. Oh, I'm going to start it. Oh, I'm going to do it next month. Or, oh, no. Think of something small. It could be tiny that you can start on today, because that's how you start stacking up all of these little things to make progress. So a key takeaway and one action item so that we can really actually help you right now start making the progress that you want and that you deserve. Who said that?
Right.
Wait, no one said that, right? Self-assessment. I see you. I love it. You was the one taking notes, wasn't you? I'm going yes, right? I love that. So, when are you going to self-assess, right?
Yes.
Let's not just say things out and then leave it, because then we're going to get distracted. Someone's going to call us. We've got work. All of a sudden we're tired. Then somebody pissed us off. Now when are you going to do this? So we say this and we push and we challenge, because you are the one who wants to evolve in your life. We can't decide for you what you want, but you want. And so we are here to support you in making progress toward that thing that you want. The peace of mind.
Right. The peace of mind is everything. Yeah, I was going to say, we are definitely here to support self-assessment. I'm sure Jacent has one. I have one as well. So if you need something to get started with, feel free to DM us, and we can provide you with something to get started on. That's fine. I'm all for it. Also, yes, Jacent's here with the big head.
Thank you.
I love it. So, I mean, if no one has any questions, we're about 5 minutes out. We can call it. If you all feel like you've gotten all the value you could, which I don't know how you could have, because there's a ton more to talk about. But, feel free to follow us. Follow Jacent. I'm sure a lot of y'all already do. But if you don't, go to her IG, click that follow button, and show her some love, because she has a lot of great knowledge to share.
Same. Follow Javon. You need to be, surrounding yourself with people who are talking about these things, sharing information, good, resourceful, helpful information. So definitely make sure that you tap in, get that. I need to go ahead and get my own Your Time checklist, right?
Yeah, get that. And I also sell planners.
Look, you go. Never learn too much. Like, you never know it all. So you have to always be learning. I'm always downloading people's stuff. I'm always investing other people's courses and information, because I know I don't know it all. And if I read something and it's something that I knew, I'm like, that's confirmation. I'm headed in the right direction. I know. Right. Like, okay, this is good that I've been doing things this way. So you can never lose when you invest in yourself, because it's going to be confirmation, or it's going to be something that helps you to go in a direction that you may not have otherwise. So it's been a pleasure, obviously, to be able to have this.
Definitely been a pleasure.
Thank you. For anyone watching this after the fact, go ahead and just comment #replay so that we knew that you watched it to this far. If you did, you know what? You a real one. If you did, you a real one.
Yes. Appreciate y'all. Siobhan, yes, definitely, you want to be purposeful in planning your day. That's a jewel, too. And thank you all for joining. Thank you all for taking time out your busy schedules. We hope y'all got some value out of this. And peace.